Welcome back to another showcase video, and today we're going to be looking at something I never thought I'd make, a slime block elevator. I don't see many people making these anymore, and I think that has to do with the fact that they tend to be really ugly, with tons of furnaces to accommodate the slime blocks and big exposed slime blocks at the top and bottom, and also because the old shift trick of holding shift when you hit the slime block to break your fall doesn't work anymore, so you have to take care of the bounce somehow, and also probably because of bubble columns. They're just way easier to build, but they don't look as cool, and we like cool, so for that we have this. Now you pretty much saw how it works in the opening. Press this button to go up, press this button to go down. When we go down, the floor shifts away and we drop a floor. When we go up, we're bounced up and everything moves out of the way accordingly. And if you notice when we go down, a block pulls out to break our fall, and then we land back on it, but there's something happening above us too, because if we only revealed this slime block, we would bounce higher than we need to, and then drop back down and take some fall damage. And I'll look up here, I'll look up while we're falling so that you can see that. You can see a block pops out, and that keeps us from bouncing too high. And I'll demonstrate why that's necessary here by going all the way up to the top. And I've disabled that safety mechanism so that it doesn't stop our bounce upward here, and you'll see what happens. So we're bounced too high, and we die. And again, the old trick of holding shift no longer works. If you hold shift, you won't bounce, but you will die of fall damage, so that doesn't work anymore. The way we've hidden the slime blocks on the launcher here is pretty cool. We're taking advantage of the fact that when a slime block passes a moving block, it doesn't grab it. So we can effectively nestle a slime block next to blocks that we don't want it to grip by causing them to move at the exact same time. So even though this slime block is touching a bunch of movable blocks that it should be grabbing onto, it doesn't grab them because all of the blocks around it are in motion at the same time that it is. And the same is true for moving down. When we push everything out of the way, the slime block moves with all the blocks that it would ordinarily stick to. And we're able to get away with a cosmetic build with no immovable blocks in the way. And here's that same view from below. You can see the slime block there and the cosmetic blocks that are currently covering it up. And when we flip this lever, everything moves simultaneously, just like that. One of the most challenging things to do with this build was to design this circuit in a way that allowed the entire thing to be pulled aside when we need to go down, which is tough to do with redstone because redstone, repeaters, and comparators can't be moved by pistons. So if you want to design something where each piston has its own point of articulation and then be able to pull the whole thing aside, you've got to start getting creative. And one of the ways that we did that here is by putting a target block behind the piston that needs to articulate independent of these guys over here, so that it's out of the way when we retract the piston for our down motion. So when we want to go down, this piston right in front of us pulls everything aside into this hollow space here, but then when we want to go up, we need to articulate this piston upward to bounce us, so this target block is pushed over, allowing that signal to get into that piston. And I'll hit the lever here so we can see that. Right there, there's that target block now activating the piston that launches us upward. And then when we go back down, it's out of the way now, so that when we open the door there, we now have room for that piston and slime block to be pulled aside so that we can fall down. Here's a look at the redstone that ties everything together. There's nothing really fancy happening here. It's just everything I showed you tiled on top of each other and tied together. Each floor is about 3.5 blocks tall to accommodate the redstone. I don't think it's possible to get any thinner than this, and I left the redstone exposed here because this would be inside your ceiling or floor. So that's intended to be the ceiling of the floor below, and you would just continue outward with whatever your decorative block is, and then up here this would be your floor of the level above, and you would just continue out with whatever that floor is, and then you need this 3.5 block space right around here to accommodate the circuitry, and then right after this point, of course, you could go as thin as you wanted. If you wanted to raise the ceiling up here a little bit as you go out, that would be fine. What you see here is the minimum amount of space needed between floors, and there's effectively no maximum. So you could have this floor on bedrock and the top floor all the way at build limit, and everything here just tiles as high as you need it to. And that's it for this build. If you liked it and you want to see more like it, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.